What's up, YouTube family? We are back with another crazy one today, and we are literally going to be breaking down today's flip, right? Which we did take 100 USD to $10,000, right? All in a day, not in a setup, right? In just one day. Now, I'm pretty much going to be breaking down every single setup that we actually did use in achieving this flip, right? So, if you're new to the community, if you're new to this Telegram to this particular YouTube channel, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe, right? And click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community, right? So far, these are literally the result posted right there in the community on this particular flip staking so far, right? So we first did start with a trade which we actually did take the 100 USD to 1,600, right? So let's get down to this. Now, this is going to be a little disclaimer, right? That this kind of trading actually requires you to like be pretty much very patient and then very skillful, right? For you to be able to achieve this, right? And what we always do say is this that with precision, like you practically no limitations to what you can achieve, right? And at the same time, capital is never a problem if you actually have a skill. So this is particularly the first trade which was taken right there. We actually did take the $100, right, to 1.6 thousand, or let's say 1,600, right? So this is particularly the entry point right here, and we did see price expand all the way to the downside. And as you can see right here in the screenshot, right, I actually have access to a 1 to unlimited, right, in respect to my leverage, hence I'm able to like do this kind of flips. So let's break this down real quick. Now, in order for me to like achieve this first flip, which we actually did see right there, we needed to be sure and we needed to like look out for a precise entry, right? So this is literally going to take me to gold, right, which we actually did take this entire setup. Now, as we did see, gold has literally been running all the way to the upside, and we actually did get the presence of price at the all-time high. Okay. Now, prior to like London section, we actually did see price drop all the way to the downside, and if you scale to the 30 minutes in respect to a scalping, or should we say in respect to like a short-term trade, right? We did see the presence of an SNR pattern, and this is what we actually did same price. So we did see the presence of a higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price comes back down. We actually did see a structural change, right? So this is particularly a QML. And if you refer back to what I talked about in respect to SNL levels, right? These are literally valid levels which we actually want to take our trade from, right? Now, as I did say, if you're new to this channel, right, click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community. So this is practically a QML, right? So refining further to this or going further to refine this, right? We actually do have a precise level, which we actually did take our shot from, right? So I did scale all the way to the 1 minute to look out for my entry points, right? So this is literally just a very quick one, right? It's literally not hard. This is literally a quick one. So we did see basically all the way national level, and we did see this clean supply zone right here. Okay. Now remember, you can literally make use of the blind spots. You can literally make use of any particular entry pattern which you want to make use of, right? Now, since this is where my entry was at, right, or this was where I actually had my zone, this was literally where my entry was meant to be. My entry was meant to be at this particular point, right? And I can literally make use of over 10 pips, 20 pips stop, depending on which I'm able to like be very comfortable with, right? So this is where my entry is meant to be as price comes all the way into this particular zone, right? And TP is always going to be the load or propelled to retracement. Okay. So we actually did wait and we did see the price did range a whole lot right here. And knowing the price did range a whole lot, it was literally very easy to wait for the London section open, which actually did come in right at this particular point right here. This was pre-London, right? Now, Andrew was literally taking on this weak rejection, right? As price started rejecting, as you can see in this particular screenshot, right? As you can see literally in this particular screenshot, you're able to like take the shots, right? Now, sometimes you may not literally get price going pretty well the first time, right? But sometimes if you literally follow your rule, you will always be on point 90 to 95% of the time, right? So Andrew was literally taking a right here, and then we did actually close out pretty much in respect to this particular point, right? So this was practically close to 33 pip stop, 166 in respect to take profit, right? And we actually did take this quick scalp and then price it up all the way to the downside. And we actually could have held all the way to the TP area, which would have given us over $2,000, right? in respect to this particular flip, right? So now we take a look at the second trade. Now, every single trade level which we actually do trade off from is literally being called out right there in the community. And as I did say, you can click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community. Now, this is literally the second trade which was taken in the community, right? Or in respect to this flip here, we actually did take the 1,500 in respect to the trade we closed to over 4,000 USD, right? So what was the idea behind this particular trade? As I did say, this is practically of the 30 minutes and you're practically playing of the time high, right? So it's more like you're just trying to be like very cautious of what you're doing, right? So this is the 30 minutes right now. Okay, this is practically the 30 minutes, right? And since this is the 30 minutes, we actually have the presence of what we call a blind spot, right? Now we actually have no pattern present here, no pattern present right here. And if this was literally going to come in, right, it did happen during Asian section, which is caused this drop, right? Hence making this a valid level. Now we actually do have the presence of a blind spot, right? So if you go further all the way to the lower time frame, refining this, we actually would get a very precise level, right? Or should we say precise SNL level? Okay, so let's take a look. So refining this all the way to the downside, we actually did have the presence of a clean SNL level, right? So this is it. So this is practically the level which we actually did wait for price to like tap into, right? And as we did see right here, price did tap into this. Okay, now price did actually give us a tap into this particular level. And did we actually scale in on this particular trade? Yes, we did scale in. Now we actually did wait for the entry rules, and as you all know, we actually have higher high, higher low, right? So this is literally going to take me all the way from having this entire zone to just having this. Now, how did I actually scale into this particular trade, right? Because we actually did call the sell, we did call the buy, and we did call this particular sell, right? And we also did look to sell at this particular point, which we did say price actually did violate, right? Now, this is how we actually did plan this out. Now, on the 30 minutes, we actually did get the presence of an SNL level. You always want to look out for a level that is willing to like hold price, should we say. You look always looking out for levels that are always like going to hold price and then another level which is going to attract price. So like it's more like a magnet, okay? So we actually did say this particular buy level. Okay, we actually did see this particular buy level. In order for us to like take this right, we did scale to the lower time frame. So on the lower time frame of the 1 minute, we actually did have every single entry criteria being present right there. Okay. Now we actually did not take this on the first stop, right? We actually did wait for price to come back and later on in respect to this particular trade called us right here. Okay, there was entry taken. The entry was taken on the second leg. Okay, so this is a second leg present right here, and on respect to this, this is where we actually did take our entry, right? We did stack our entry all the way to the upside, still playing continuation levels right here. Till price actually did expand fully, right? And we did hold all the way to the upside. Hence, this particular trade did deliver over 4,000 USD, right? We actually did take this to 4,000 USD, right? And was this the final trade which we actually did close on? We did close overall on 4,000, right? Now, one thing we should know for sure is that when it comes to this, after risking the first one, and then you actually did have the profit right there, you might not necessarily want to risk the entire profit on the second one, right? You can actually like break it down or split it into two to three, right? And then give it a shot, right? But if you're willing to like go all in with the full risk, you can literally do that. So this is how we actually did take 100 to 4,000 USD right here. And then from 4,000 USD, right? From 4,000 USD, we were not able to like close the entire profit on 4,000, right? Which actually did bring us down to 2,800, okay? As you can see right here, we actually did take the 2,800 USD to practically 9K. And how did we actually do this, right? Which I'm literally going to like break down in the community. As I did say, every single trade level is being called out there. You should click on the link in this particular video description, right? Now we actually did call out this gold sell level, right? In the community that is in the signal room, right? And it's literally a good thing that a whole lot of people actually did capitalize on this particular good shot. Now, for BTC, we actually did call out the buys, right? So the question is, how did we actually go about this? I'm literally going to scale all the way to refine this, right? Now, the easiest way is to play the same pattern over and over again, right? And as you can see right here, we've actually been having series of wins on gold, right? And BTC. So this was how we were able to like frame this particular trade. Now we see price giving us a good structural change right here. Okay, we did see the presence of a particular QML, right? So this is practically QML, and if you scale all the way to the lower time frame, we did refine this entire QML straight up to this particular level, right? And we did see price come back, tapping into this. Now remember, we actually have a proof of over 4,000 USD, so we were able to like scale into this. I remember entry is literally taking some time with confirmations, and it's dependent on the entry criteria that have been present, right? The price is present also with this rejection, right? And we actually started scaling it immediately. Now I did attempt two other flips with 50 USDs, right? Which actually failed to hold on, right? But this particular account was able to like carry it and we actually did flip. It's taking our profit at this particular point right here. Okay. Now we did actually call a sell right there in the signal room, and then we actually having price one out all the way to the downside. Now, this is literally easy. All you actually have to do is wait for your entry criteria and do the same thing over and over again. The same rule applies to every single asset right there in price. All you actually have to do is like be patient to wait for them. Now, can you also be a flip trader? You can also be a flip trader. All you need is particularly the skill to be patient and know when to scale it, right? As I did say, and as I always do say, precision is never a myth, right? There's practically no limitation to what you can do. All you need to do is be patient and then take the right setup, have the right knowledge, and this is literally going to be all an easy peasy, right? So this is how we actually did take this route. And tomorrow we are literally going to go again, maybe take 100 to practically 5K on a single shot, right? So we get to like see how this pans out, right? And don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to be part of the trading community, right? And see you guys on the next slide. We move on with more footage, guys.